This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children. Mission 250.
So Carrie Fisher wasn't planning on being in this movie. She was helping her roommate. She lived in LA. She's from like a Hollywood family. Actually, I didn't look up who her parents were, but like she's a Hollywood family person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But her, so she's in
famous.
LA helping her roommate out, reading the script for this movie. And she was reading it and she's like, oh my God, this script is awesome. I want to be in this movie. And she wanted to be Han Solo, who her roommate was like trying out to be. He was the best written character. She's like, I want to be this character. She's like, well, her roommate was a man. And she was like, well, I guess I have to try out to be Princess Leia because that's the only women character in this movie.
Yeah.
So she did and she got it.
I mean, she was good. I thought she was good.
Yeah.
I think she's perfect.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought being like, for a female character especially, I mean, being like showing like some toughness in the way she did. I don't know.
Back
Debbie
then, it
Reynolds
was not a thing,
was her mom.
Debbie Reynolds. Who is that?
Singer Eddie Fisher.
Debbie Reynolds is, she was in...
Debbie Reynolds was in Singing in the Rain. That's who that was.
That's her. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking great movies.
Yeah, she was
yeah.
famous. So like the Hollywood family right there.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's royalty, baby. These people have been around forever. Generations of money where they don't ever know what it's like to live on the flat part of LA. They're like, what are you talking about? The flat part? The jungle? No. I live on the hill.
So when they were trying to like produce this movie, they tried to obtain rights to Hidden Fortress, which is a Kurosawa movie, which is the basis of what George Lucas was trying to do. That movie is about transporting a princess from one location to another during a war. And he liked it because the people transporting her were like just inconsequential people. And that was the plot of that story. So he wanted like the droids.
He kind of stole that plot a little bit.
He did.
There.
That's why they tried to get the rights to it, but they weren't for sale for whatever reason. So they just went ahead and made it, and they didn't get sued. So there you go.
Yeah, it's different enough.
Yeah,
because nobody watched it. Too late over there.
Yeah, they like admitted, said, well, or maybe it was more like, we're gonna get sued if we don't get the rights, or so maybe they were trying, but yeah.
Maybe that's why all of a sudden, maybe that's why they started adding in new edits.
Maybe, so yeah.
And for whatever this is worth, I don't know if this is good or bad, but when Lucas was in film school, he watched a bunch of Kurosawa movies, and the culture aspect of those movies that are in the background, that are assumed if you're, a Japanese person, felt alien to him. But the fact that those movies had a human story that you could relate to while not totally understanding the culture that was behind them was his main influence of like making a science fiction movie like this, where you don't totally like most science fiction movies still do this, where they kind of explain technology a little bit, but there's very little exposition in this movie. They kind of just focus on the characters and move you along through the world. That was like, because he wanted to do the same thing that like watching a foreign movie does. So that's kind of like, we watch a lot of foreign movies too, but he never had. And that was a big factor of like not explaining like, oh, this robot is a humanoid robot who's a translator, and that's C-3PO. And this one is a trash can robot. If you feed him a can, he'll eat it. And that's how he gets power. That's good. It's good for the robot. It's healthy for the robot. You think it might be bad for him? No, it's good for the robot.
Yeah. 3PO is an avocado toast guy. Don't worry.
3PO is definitely an avocado toast guy. All organic for that robot.
All organic all the time.
Yeah.
Whole Foods 365.
Dude, that guy was so skinny. Like, imagine how skinny that robot is.
Yeah.
It adds twice the weight to that guy. And that's why he was higher, because he's a skinny fucking
skinny
guy.
Motherfucker, yeah.
And he was like a classically trained mime in school. So and they actually ended up using his voice. The voice of C-3PO is the guy that is in the suit. They weren't planning on doing that, but they fell in love with it as they were filming. They were like, this is kind of perfect. Like, it goes with what he's doing. And they brought him back in like towards the end to re-record all of his lines because they liked his voice as they were shooting the movie.
Thanks.
Nice.
They shot a lot of the desert stuff in Tunisia, and Tunisia is not a good place to shoot. The first 2 weeks, they're supposed to get 14 days worth of shots. They got 5 days worth of shots in the first week, and they ruined, like one of the sets got destroyed in a windstorm.
Damn.
So that was not
Desert.
good. That was the first, like they started there. That was the production. Like that was the beginning of the production. And apparently like George the entire time was just a fucking Debbie Downer or whatever the entire shoot.
Who's the director?
Yeah, who's in charge of this here crazy.
Was he like,
going on.
this isn't working. This isn't going to be any good. It's not going to be good.
Yeah. Oh God. Listen to this.
understand where the
Sand in my
aliens
shoes.
are.
Yeah,
There
honestly,
needs to be more aliens.
I don't know if either of you will have time before next week, but he has a commentary track on all these movies. If you could find it and listen to it and let me know what you think, because it's so confusing.
So it's a commentary track of all the movies or just this movie?
Just one. Just to like listen to George talk about it for
So find
bit.
a commentary. It doesn't
version
matter which movie.
somehow. Can you get that
Can probably
streaming?
find it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably can write something.
But like just listen to him for a little bit, because I'm curious what you guys think, because it's hard to like criticize him because he made this and he made Indiana Jones, but the way he thinks is wrong. Like it's opposite of what, like he's against his own movie. Like he talks about this movie with disdain. He doesn't.
I love the way you just said
he
that.
doesn't understand why people like it. Like he talks about
Well,
it
I
like
just
it's
wonder if
bad.
it's like he didn't get to make it the way he wanted to, and other people kept telling him your ideas. That with these movies, like I wonder if you listen to a commentary of Phantom Menace, if he's all happy about it. Like maybe if you because that's where he was unconstrained. And maybe that's part of it. Like he doesn't like any of this because he doesn't feel like he really did.
He didn't get to do what he wanted, right?
Yeah.
It's like making a record and you make a pop record, but you wanted to make a country record.
Right.
And they're like, and it hits, and now you're a country star, and you're like,
exactly.
I want to make a fucking, what are you talking about?
And that's what you wanted to do all along, right? Was make a country record, but they like made you a pop idol, and so now you hate all that stuff, right?
Exactly. You're a pop idol, and then and then you're like, what the fuck, dude? I'm trying to fucking sit on the beach and drink
about horses.
I want to drink about beer. I want to drink
about
about beer and sing about fucking horses. Yeah, right. So that's
drink about beer. Drink about beer.
That's what happens when you smoke marijuana. You slow down. That's funny. I could see it, but he's just like at that point though. Once it hits big, don't you just gotta go? Oh, maybe that's no, because I guess Fiona Apple talks about that shit too, right? She hates Tidal and that. But I'm saying like this is her first record where she felt like she actually made a record, where like. She talks
Whereas
with the
George
other ones.
made episode 1 and he thought that was the fucking thing that he did, and it was terrible.
And it was terrible, right? But like the idea is that he's just not. These people probably never. They have a disconnect. Though.
But it still made a lot of money. There's like a lot. I don't know. It's really confusing.
He was, he certainly.
That's true.
He was central to its. There's no, he was central to its making.
He was the creator,
right? Right.
I mean,
so he's somewhat talented.
Yeah. So there's
somewhere 11-year-old kids
there.
speaking nonsense that is creative. Like he
but
somehow
like you don't
refocused
have
his thoughts onto paper.
But
and
it
people
takes
were like,
quite a
"This is
bit to
weird."
fucking like translate all that and then actually make the movie.
Yeah. And again, I don't know if like you can't think of it as like there might be like an example of a pop star who, without all the studio musicians and producers and so forth, that they're by themselves, they're pretty horrendous.
Yeah, right.
But that they're still essential.
Which is why the good one wanted to make a country record. No.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean,
No, I mean, it is. It's frustrating, I think, for anybody when you see something you like so much and then hear the person who made it shit on it. I think that's all this is, right? That's
also it's not him shitting on it. He's ruining his own art. He's ruining his
right. But
art.
that's what's frustrating about it.
Yeah, I don't know a good parallel for
it.
There's
nothing. The point in the commentary, he was like, people do this all the time. They go back and they retouch. I'm like, nobody does that. Dude.
And
nobody does that.
They're not even allowed to.
No,
it's like this is your ending. Right. That's it. That's all you get.
I think he's I don't know. I think he's sheltered and crazy and kind of a genius, but also kind of stupid. Like, I don't know.
But that's what that line is. I mean, John, you can attest to that with like that kind of psychology. Like, it's never all good. There's always some kind of like
from this movie. He's definitely living in his own world, which is why this movie exists. But
right.
Him like reacting,
but that means he's always in his own world.
Yeah,
period.
Exactly. It's like the fact that he can't live in this world is the reason he just doesn't realize that.
But it's the only reason why the art's there. Yeah. That's the crazy part. That's the fucking. It's the pro and con to fucking life, man.
He must have. He sold it all to Disney. I mean, so something must have happened there for him to even make that sell.
Yeah, he wanted money.
What?
Yeah,
$500 billion.
You know what he wanted? He wanted the 18-year-old Instagram model to show up. That's what he wanted.
That's what it takes. Yeah,
something happened. Yeah, they offered a shit ton of money. That's all that happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. No, I just mean, but for him to give it up,
those are the normal.
It's not like he didn't have a whole lot of money where he was. I mean, all the prequels, I think, still were making a lot of money. I think he was doing just fine.
This franchise is the second highest grossing franchise of all time, and this is behind. There's only 11 movies in this franchise, I want to say. The number one franchise is the Marvel Universe, quote unquote, which is like 25 movies. So
Right.
Wow.
And it's just
these movies
it's
make
Not
$1
art.
billion.
It's not
just-
art
yeah.
though. Remember, just you got to remember.
Rogue One made $1 billion,
that.
and that wasn't even an episode.
Right.
Oh,
And Rogue
wow.
One was. I liked Rogue One a lot, but I don't know. I need to see it
That's
again.
the
but
one I've seen.
Now,
Yeah.
TC, you get to see what happens with those plans they stole.
Yeah, that's
That was the
Rogue
whole
One
point
is
of
the
Rogue One.
plan.
See,
That Leia
I
gets.
did not get it then.
Yeah.
I did not get it. Didn't make any sense.
That's why that movie's awesome. It's like they take
Yeah.
two sentences from
yeah,
this
no
movie
shit,
and they
asshole.
made a
You're
movie
supposed
out
to
of it.
watch them. That's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah, right. I get it. No, I'm ready. I'm gonna watch them.
So when they were filming in Tunisia, the R2D2 robot didn't work. Its wheels got jammed. It didn't roll anywhere. If you look at any of the large shots with like actual smooth desert, like Lawrence of Arabia type of desert, the R2D2 is not moving because they couldn't
No.
get it to work.
Because he couldn't move.
Because it couldn't move. But they finally
shit.
figured out like in the middle and towards the end of production how to get the robot to work. And all of those scenes were filmed in Death Valley in California.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, there was a guy. So they had two different versions of R2D2. One of them was a remote control version, and one of them was the Kenny version. Kenny, who was the little person that they put inside the robot. Anytime R2D2 was like stomping his feet, like
Yeah,
you know?
he's doing
Yeah,
There was a
yeah,
person
yeah.
there.
The little dance.
There was a
There
person.
was a person in there.
Yeah.
Oh, but he was so. And Kenny Baker, you may also know from Time Bandits and Willow. He was the star of, which is another George Lucas joint.
A George Lucas joint.
A joint.
A Spike Lee joint.
That's right.
It's the worst
Yeah,
use
the
of that
George
term
Lucas-
ever, John.
Yeah, George
Yeah, I know.
Lucas joint.
So the weird thing is there's a lot of conflicting trivia, as John, you've kind of pointed out, where like some of the things George Lucas says about the movie isn't true necessarily.
All the way true.
There are people that say that R2D2's voice was written in the scripts and it was cut out. It was made into beeps and whatever because it was too vile for children, and they like started trying to make it a PG movie from a PG-13 or R, whatever it was back then.
Oh wait, I need to just interrupt here for breaking like a falsehood. That no, it was Warwick Davis who was Willow. So the guy who played R2D2, Kenny Baker was not Willow. Yeah, that was so.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Warwick Davis
Anyway.
is still famous. He's still alive.
I know. Yeah. Anyway, so carry on.
That's what you get for listening to John for trivia. Am I
Yeah,
right?
no shit. Right?
Yeah.
I'm always. Yeah, I think blah blah blah. Probably not.
So,
though.
by the way, Larry Arabia actually was a real guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
The banthas were just elephants with fucking costumes
Oh.
on.
What was that
Oh,
weird
wow.
character with the ugly fucking elephant nose that ratted
thing-
out where they were?
You saw that?
That guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the he had like duct tape nose that he was.
Where they
he was
rat
like
out
the
where they rat
spy.
out the people in the
Yeah, when they're in Mos
Yeah.
Eisley, and he like
Yeah.
tells the stormtroopers, that he's found they see the
Yeah.
droids.
Terrible costume. Terrible.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
gross. Ugly
I
as
thought
fuck.
it was a
What is
human.
that?
I thought it was somebody else they were going to reveal later because I thought it was like a shitty mask.
What's the actual name of that type? No one knows. It's not actually labeled as a.
No, I'm sure it
as a
is. All the aliens
Oh.
in this movie are names. You could find
Oh,
that.
so it's not a type of thing that we're gonna see much more of. It was
No.
just okay.
that
Probably
was
'cause
weird.
Everyone was like, "What is that thing? That's disgusting."
Yeah. Not a fan of that thing. The sound of the Tusken Raiders were just mule sounds. Sounds of mules.
Okay.
The lightsabers. Did you guys notice the edits when they turned the lightsabers on?
No.
They were edits because
Because they'd overlay.
yeah,
What?
what they did is they had sticks. So they had that little lightsaber handle, but they would put sticks with what they called like theater screen, whatever the reflective stuff they project movies onto. They
Okay.
wrap that around a stick and then they shine the lights onto it, like bright lights directly onto it. And that would reflect like weirdly into the camera. And they'd film that, but it wasn't quite enough. So they ended
Oh.
up animating every single frame of the lightsaber parts.
So it almost worked, and then they were able to just kind of
Almost
fill in
Yeah.
the. Oh, interesting.
But you can see when like they're if you really look at it, they do a really good job editing it. But whenever he turns the lightsaber on, when it's on frame, there's like a jump. It's like, but like you
Oh.
don't pay attention because it's a
Because
fucking
you see
lightsaber.
the-
You're looking
it's
at
like-
the
it's
You're
in
like
the
watching the
lightsaber,
lightsaber.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's almost
there's
like
definitely an edit there.
kinetic. Like it's like
That's
turning it
awesome.
on is like
Yeah.
causing everything to shake.
And the
And it's
sounds
okay, and it
are so
works.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works
That's
so well.
sick. What
and
a
it's
great
crazy too
idea.
because there are shots like one of the shots when he's in the Millennium Falcon with Ben Kenobi, and he turns it on. There's like a lot of movement before that. Like you'd think that they would just like make it simple and not have movement and just have it to be a shot. But like they talk to each other and they like he goes and sits down and Luke turns around and turns it on and they're in the exact same spot. Like it looks fucking good. the way they do it.
I mean, so he has some talent. Then you see what I'm saying? Like they got talent.
I don't know if that's him, man. I don't know if that's him.
I don't know. I bet you it is. I bet you, like, what could we do? And then he's sitting around the room while they're all riffing.
So they invented,
right?
This movie is one of the first movies, if not the first movie to have mechanical cameras. He hired these people. So like he had the idea.
Right, but he has the idea to like think about it. Like, so he's got all the big ideas. So he's got to be somewhat
mechanical
talented.
cameras. Like all the camera moves were done with computers and they had it saved. So like all the stuff where you see the stars in the background of the spaceships and stuff spinning, they would have it in a computer to spin at the exact same speed. Like all the movements would just be completely measured in linear to each other. But like that wasn't specifically him. But like,
no, but he understood to investigate and find it out.
Yeah.
And figured it out. So like that's enough to know how things work. Right? Like
he wanted it to look really
he's thinking
really
big and
good.
he's finding the people that are going to figure out how to do the goddamn work. Yeah. Right?
And they were inventing stuff. The mechanical cameras are a thing now.
It's
in every movie.
Awesome. That takes some kind of just natural talent. I'm sorry, it does.
I think so too.
Yeah,
for sure.
You either critically think or you don't. And like he's like, how do I get this done? Is there anything like this? You know, who
can I hire to fix this
troubleshooting.
problem?
That's troubleshooting, and a lot of people just are not born with that stuff. So it is natural. So I guess talent may not be the right word, but at the same time, he still has the mind to figure out how to get it to go on screen and work. Just because they got the technical guys in doesn't mean that they can all figure it out. So I don't know. It's a gray area. He's a fucking enigma. He's an enigma.
Oh, by the way, so just the alien who is the spy, his name is Gurinden. And he's a Kubas. His name is Gurinden, but he's a Kubas. That's an alien race.
I love how you just looked this up. And there's probably little stories written about him.
This is like, exactly. There is. This is StarWarsFandom.com. They're Kubas or Kubasian are an insectivorous species native to planet Kubindi.
Ooh,
blah,
Kubindi.
Blah, blah.
Ooh, Kubindi.
Maybe in the 13th episode we'll see Kubindi.
Yeah,
Kubindi.
And his voice was a modified version of John Wayne. They like digitized John Wayne's voice.
No way.
That's hilarious. Yeah. From which movie?
Funny.
Was it Searchers? Was it Searchers?
I don't know. It was like some kind of process version.
They must have had his voice on something. They're like, let's see what we can do with this, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Speaking of sounds, the throat choking sound where Darth Vader does a little pinch on the guy's throat.
Yep.
They put a bunch of walnut shells inside of a grapefruit and they fucking mushed it around.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then they recorded it.
That's smart. I like that.
I thought it was just the guy acting it. It worked so well on the scene.
That's
I
so
thought
cool. What a fucking great idea that is. I love how they come up with this shit. These Foley people. It's awesome.
TC, do you find like Darth Vader scary at all? He's so familiar.
Not really.
To me now. It's hard for me. Well, I was scared when I was a kid.
I think I've been also conditioned to see him in a different fashion. So like seeing him just walk around like a human seemed weird. Like it didn't seem powerful because I'm used to thinking about him like with graphics and things and I've only seen it on TV or I've only seen like a commercial or it's like they make him seem way more scary. And then the sound of the James Earl Jones voice is just soothing. So like for me, it was like I was not scared I understood who he was, but he was not scary at all to me. So I understand why the story could make him scary.
TC captured by the Empire. You will talk. Oh, your voice.
Whatever you say, James.
I'm gonna get some rest, but I'm just gonna just sit here and zone out. You just keep talking, man.
Yeah. Can you just I don't know, read me a book or something.
Hey, man. Hey, could you be the version of the AI for me and just speak to me just while I rest?
So we had this trivia recently, but the guy inside the bodysuit is the guy from A Clockwork Orange. That's the bodybuilder guy that protects the old guy towards the end of The Clockwork Orange.
Oh, wow.
Same actor.
Interesting.
He was also Mr. Universe at one point.
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
And while we're talking Darth, it's probably in your trivia somewhere where they recorded his voice sort of separate from his actions. And there's one scene where it's horribly out of place. Do you know this scene, Denny?
Is it the scene where he goes, I haven't heard that name since...
No.
And then walks away?
That wasn't the one. No, it's like, I told you she wouldn't be cooperative or something like that. He says, he's like in there talking with the generals. And he says, I told you she wouldn't cooperate, something like that. And then he stops talking and then he gestures as if he was talking.
So really? I didn't notice that.
Oh yeah.
So what did they do? They just, what's the point?
Well, so because they would just, they'd put his voice over like completely separate from the actor.
They cut his line.
And this was just completely out of sync. Yeah, his line was out of sync there, or his line got cut.
I didn't notice anything like that though.
Yeah,
I didn't notice it either.
Oh, where was it? What's the line?
Did you notice it before you read this, John?
Yeah, well, no, I've had it pointed out to me before, but now once you see it, it's like I told you she wouldn't cooperate.
I don't want to know.
Line.
I don't want to know.
I almost don't want to see it either.
Yeah,
because he says I told you she wouldn't cooperate, and then he gestures.
Oh,
but you're focusing
right.
on somebody else probably when it happens.
Yeah.
There's probably someone else speaking.
Well,
like Darth.
Look it up. It is pretty stark obvious when you see that one.
Not for this movie.
Oh.
Not for this movie.
I love that part though with the army guy. He's like, "Listen, Vader, you've done nothing but fun." I was like, "Oh boy, talking the wrong motherfucker."
Yeah, right. Okay.
Like he's not scaring me, but he's about to scare you.
And I do again. It's the interactions. Like Princess Leia's defiance towards them is great. She does.
He wasn't scared of him at all.
Yeah. And
Darth.
What kind of a rescue is this?
Yeah, that was funny.
I know, right? Exactly.
That was great. What kind of rescue is this? Yeah, that was actually really funny.
Yeah. So many funny moments. Are you ready for a barrage of sound ones? This guy talked for a little while. The land speeders, he put a microphone, buried it inside of a bunch of towels, and then put it in a jet engine testing facility.
Wow.
Damn.
The cantina background voices, all the aliens and shit, are male, female voices on helium. Just a bunch of people inhaling helium, talking, and then he'd like manipulate the tape to either be faster or slower.
Wow.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Also dangerous.
A little bit of helium is not going to hurt anybody.
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Not nitrous, I guess.
My chemistry teacher did it, and he's still alive, so
yeah,
probably
but he
fine.
did it like once in there. He wasn't just.
He did it like once a semester,
12
3 times a year.
He wasn't inhaling it 12 hours.
No,
a
they
day,
got a bunch
right?
of different people, like all the people in the cast and crew, like everybody. They're just like, all right,
everyone
your turn.
did it like once.
Yeah.
I see. That's so everyone's fine.
Yeah. Darth Vader breathing, not so surprising. His breathing was a scuba mask.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Chewie's voice was mostly bears. He said mostly bears. I don't know what he didn't go on to be like what else it is,
bears.
but I think it's just bears. They actually had the sound guy knew somebody that had bears, and he would go and hang out with the bears, and he would record all the sounds, and he just label them like happy
How
bear
rich are
sound,
these people?
sad
Who are
bear
these
sound,
people?
frustrated
What?
bear sound. Give that to Chewie.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh God.
That guy's methodical though.
Yeah.
Like he's because Hans Zimmer works like that too, right? Like he records all his own samples and he like maps them out in his keyboard. Like he does all the tech work too for himself. I don't understand how you can operate both like creatively and technically like that at such a high level where you're recording bear sounds because you know it might be the inflection they need for a certain
You have
shot.
to listen to
Like,
this guy too, because like he's
something-
not
that's
a
really
crazy
impressive.
Hollywood guy. He's just like he's like smart, but he's like simple. It's
right,
like
and he's
everything he does is just like it
he
sounded
just
good,
and
and
he's
I put it in.
methodical with his catalog.
Yeah,
and he builds his catalog, and then someone has something to reference from. No
and he's
problem
not full
every
of
time.
himself. Listening to people not full of himself on commentary tracks
is the best,
refreshing.
Yeah, it really is
rare because George Lucas
just loves doing
full
the
of
work.
himself.
Yeah, well, they're directors, dude. That's how they. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's the fucking personality. It's hard to say.
So the way they filmed all the explosions in space, like the Alderaan exploding and all the TIE fighters and stuff, they had a 50-foot warehouse that they would put explosives up and just film them from the ground up, filming up. Because if you filmed it anywhere else, you'd see the particles hitting walls and stuff. They wanted it just to,
they wanted
fall.
that sphere.
Yeah, they wanted the sphere. So they filmed it 50 feet up and they just had actual explosions. Like every explosion in this movie is
and
real.
They still look good.
Wow.
They look great.
Yeah.
If you were to guess how large the Death Star model was, what would you guess?
3 feet.
10
You said
feet.
3 feet?
Yeah.
TC gets the fucking prize.
Hey,
3 feet. That's
Nice.
it looks good for a 3-foot model.
It does. Well, it's all about the scale that you shoot around it.
The hardest part of the shoot was the first shot where the Star Destroyer flies over the camera towards Leia's ship, whatever the rebel ship was, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? John, give me some nods. No?
Wait a minute. What are you
Sorry,
saying?
say it one more time.
You're getting tired, John? So
Little
the
bit, sorry.
open
It's-
shot
I was
where
zoning out for
it's
a
the
second,
crawl,
yeah.
the camera pans down, it's Leia's ship, and then it's the Star
the
Destroyer.
Corellian Corvette.
Oh, yeah,
then there's
yeah,
the Star
yeah.
Destroyer.
Yes.
The Star Destroyer was small. It was like 16 inches long, And it was the hardest shot of the movie because it's the shot that sells the movie. And holy shit, that shot is so good.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no, it's great. But the whole way it's set up where it's like you have the scrolling text and then the camera pans down. And it's so, and they do this in like every Star Wars film, but it's so like iconic now because they do that and then they have the ship fly over you as it pans down. It's great.
It's just good stuff. They really they work the scene and the shot well, like the little dance.
Yeah,
they really incorporate like what other movies do it that well? That incorporate like the exposition. Sure, read it, but you're in the world. And then we're moving, and then there's fucking space.
Right. The way they stitch it all together is just so good. And then immediately the ships are coming over you, and you're just like, wow. This is...
I will say it did not really bore me. Like it moved. It really moved quickly. Like that opener started into this, then went into this. Then
some of those blaster fights kind of go on a while.
Shut up, John.
If I want to be John about it.
But like, honestly,
shooting at that stormtrooper on the ledge, shooting at him, he's shooting back. They're shooting at him, he's shooting back.
Everyone's missing, no one's died, everyone's happy. It's just, they're all getting away.
Does go on for a little while.
It does.
God damn it. Don't you say that.
I know. But
that's okay.
It is. It holds up remarkably well otherwise.
Yeah. They were talking about how that model was like touching the camera, basically. Like it was such a small model.
It was so tiny.
That Star Destroyer was like on the lens.
Oh, wow.
And they redid it a bunch of times because they wanted it to look good because it's the selling shot.
Right. And you gotta be scared of this thing. It's like that's your first shot of the bad guys, right?
Right.
Did you guys get some 2001 vibes from this movie?
Yes, the opening shot. For Christ's sake. I was like, that could be the fucking sideways thing where they're walking around. Like it was like
the rectangular docking bay, totally ripped off from 2001.
Yeah. But I mean, that's okay at that time.
It is okay. And George Lucas talks about it. He's like, that's one of the four movies.
One of the 2001 guys was there. Like one of the guys
costume
from 2001.
guys, the makeup guy. The guy who did the monkey costumes did all the alien costumes in Star Wars.
So yeah, the best of the best.
Like special effects guy, not just special effects, but some other stuff possibly. I don't remember.
Maybe. I'm sure.
Maybe. Let's see.
He hired like anybody that worked on effects.
Right.
Because there wasn't that many of them. It actually sounded kind of easy. He's just like, I just hired everyone because there's not that many people that were doing special effects
at the time.
Colin Cantwell, who worked on 2001, also was there to conceptualize like the spacecraft models too.
I mean, this is when Hollywood was fun. Where like you could really you were doing a job that no one else did.
Because I mean, 2001 again, still even more so than what Star Wars did in terms of level of detail of the models when they were
2001 is more perfect in terms of how it looks.
Yeah,
but like this movie does a lot more with that type of effects.
No, this movie is just like there's so much more variety and more done. I think 2001 had this level of detail for what it did do. It's a real contrast, but it's both are impressive in different ways.
It is. Yeah. When I was watching it too, I was like, which one do I like more? I don't know.
I think they're just so
different to compare.
It's like it doesn't. You can love them both just as much.
Yeah, I do. I think I do.
I think they're both very different, right? One is serious.
This movie is definitely more flawed. Like 2001, it's only flaws that it's slow, but like really, it's kind of perfect.
Yeah, it's got like no.
But this movie has like flaws, but it doesn't matter because everything else is so good.
The story is really good. I have to say, it really is.
And the fact that it's so relatable is just
and amazing. That's really what they just related it to regular life and made it in space, and it still had a space feel, but it also had a normal like I'm Joe Schmo.
Yeah, I mean, again, they just said like I was saying earlier, they had the normal griping between everybody that just makes it feel like these are people. They're like on a road trip and they're pissed off at each other because somebody
should have taken a left at
turn.
all.
Right? Yeah. Right.
This is the best banter they ever had. And the series is in this first movie in the 70s.
Man.
It's awesome. So more sound stuff. The Death Star noises were
you mean the Death Star
the
launching
whirs
its
and the
space
grinding.
Ray? Oh, okay.
No, so like the grind, like the sound when you're inside the Death Star.
Okay.
He went inside an observatory in Northern California and recorded every sound the observatory made.
Oh, wow.
So they had 3 different mixes. Back when this movie was made, they used to just do mono mixes for theaters because most theaters were just like there weren't blockbusters. Like the movie theaters were different before this movie came out. This movie like changed the entire industry because people wouldn't go see the movies over and over again. There were a couple movies in the past 40 years before this movie came out that did that. But most movies people would see once and like forget about it. Like that wasn't a huge industry like this movie
Interesting.
created.
Created its whole this dynasty.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, then you add the merchandising, which is relatively new, right? To have
That was totally new.
Yeah.
100% new. And so TC, George Lucas signed on for a very low percentage of what directors usually signed on for, but he said he wanted all of the merchandising rights, which for the time, nobody was like, yeah, sure, give him the fucking merchandising rights. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Nobody ever makes money off that.
Right.
He was right. He made so much money off of merchandising these movies.
He knew the nerds would come in droves.
He
did.
Dude, he knew a lot. He knew a lot. But
they
he
was
didn't know
starting to make. They
things.
was going to start making games soon. He heard the rumors. You know what I mean? Like he's just using it in his
I mean,
film.
I had
take over the
so
world.
much Star Wars stuff. He had a little action figures where they had a little slot in their arm where you'd push it up and a lightsaber would come out of their hand.
That's cool.
Little plastic stick.
Yeah.
You were Wolverine.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker Wolverine.
Yeah, it was like that, but it was a lightsaber instead of a claw coming out. It was like a little lightsaber. Those are great.
Awesome.
All the little action figures. They'd had a little.
I had
sets.
action figures.
Yeah.
Like in the 90s,
I was
action
Teenage
figures.
Mutant Ninja Turtles guy. I had all
So was I.
that.
I had both. I had way more Teenage
The
Mutant Ninja
Star
Turtles.
Wars toys were so awesome. Like
those would have been
I remember
better.
the X-wing. and
DC,
the-
did you have Ghostbusters?
Oh, you better believe I had the tower. I had the
Ghostbusters
thing. I had
and
the
Ninja
ambulance.
Turtles.
I had
I was too old for toys with Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, I was.
My brother
all
got
over
the
that.
Technodrome one Christmas. I was jealous as fuck.
Oh yeah, dude. When I got the tower, my mom bought me the tower. I was so happy. I felt like I was in the movie. I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was John with Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Star Wars says those are the best toys. Those are still I feel like those are the best toys. Yeah.
I have a Lego Star Wars thing right there.
Oh, yeah.
Is it He's on an AT-AT.
Is it in its
Oh,
case
nice.
properly put away? No, I'm
Nope.
just kidding.
I like my
It's a
brother.
tiny one.
Like
It's a
actually,
mini.
he got the I don't know what it is like the $800 Millennium Falcon that was Lego.
Oh wow.
I loved it. My wife got me one with when the first whatever it was, the Force Awakens. There was a version of the Falcon, and she got me that, and I put it together. I was happy.
Oh yeah.
How many
nice.
pieces? How many pieces?
Oh
is
god,
that?
I don't know that one.
Thousands?
That one
Sounds
took me
like a lot.
5 hours. I think.
Oh,
it was.
wow.
That's
It
not
wasn't
bad.
too bad. That one was about the one my brother did was like a 2-3
I've seen
day
that one
job.
on, like, Reddit
that
and
one,
shit.
Yeah, he did that one. So he was so happy.
Wow. And that's all. You're talking Lego or
It's all
Yeah,
Lego.
it's all Legos. Yeah.
fuck you.
Look it up, dude. It's like
No
this
way.
big. It
Never
looks
had the
cool.
Yeah, it
attention
took
span
over
for
his
that.
like whole tabletop kind of. It was pretty.
Did you just
awesome.
work on it? It took him 3 days. That's it. It would take
Something
me
like that. I don't know.
5
I don't know
months.
exactly.
That would take
how
me
long,
6
but
Does he have a
months.
job?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
right?
didn't have a job, but he has weekends too.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
Good on him.
So anyway, 3 different mixes. They did a mono, they did a stereo, and then they did a 6-track mix, which was like one of the first movies that ever did 6-track mix.
5-1.
Yeah. And this movie pushed people. It was so popular that it got people to move to stereo in theaters. It was just mono. It was one speaker behind the screen
Oh, before that.
this movie came out.
Whoa.
But this movie was so popular and people kept going to see it over
But
the
they
years
want stereo
that
in there.
everyone upgraded because they wanted to be able to show Star Wars like with the
Wow.
stereo mix,
That's fucking
which is
cool.
awesome. This movie made blockbusters more so than Jaws. Jaws like started it. This movie was made for $13 million. It made $800 million
Then.
at the box office.
That's
Not
the
now.
box office. That's not counting all the
well, that's
merchandise.
that's
and everything.
also
Fuck.
that's
Over
also like probably counting when it gets re-released. I
Sure,
would assume,
sure, maybe.
Dude.
but like
Yeah.
it was still
That's
it
insane.
was still like the amount of money this movie made was beyond.
and it was
anybody's
like an instant hit,
conception.
right? I mean, it was
Yeah,
instantly.
instantly.
It wasn't like
While they were
Oh,
screening it,
my
people were like,
Lord.
"Oh my god, what the fuck do you have here?
This is amazing.
amazing."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you wonder why he's able to just be nuts. Come on.
Oh,
Everyone
right.
says yes.
No one says, no
Yeah,
one says no.
everyone-
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed,
Right.
like what the actors like
And they
Carrie
shouldn't
and
really,
like might have
'cause-
thought too when they. I bet because I thought I seem
Mark
to remember,
doesn't like him. Harrison Ford hates everything.
Well, yeah.
Harrison Ford fucking hates every
Yeah,
movie
he's a
ever
grouchy
been in.
old man. All right, before his
Yeah.
time.
Negative
But,
Nancy.
which
I love that.
sympathize
I'm
with.
one of
yeah.
them.
But
Hey, how you doing?
But he's such an asshole. He's a fucking famous goddamn actor. Appreciate.
I don't
the
think
goddamn
I don't
medium.
think they thought. I know, but I don't think they thought they were working on a good film at the time. So they must have been pretty damn surprised too when this happened. I just wonder about their.
True.
I don't know in the
That's a good
commentaries
point.
if they were saying
Nobody thought the movie was going to be a hit while, like, in the middle of the production.
No, can you?
Yeah.
And you imagine
But
how much
towards
their
the
life
end,
changed
people-
after that? Holy
people
shit,
knew
man.
while it was coming together towards the end.
people were
because-
thinking, yeah.
The way George cut it was like a lot of what he did for the special effects scenes. He took World War I and World War II dogfight scenes while they were editing it, and to show the special effects team what he wanted in terms of like the TIE fighter and the X-wing scenes. He would just have. You'd be watching the movie in an early cut, and it would be like Harrison Ford in a spaceship, and then like archival World War I dogfight videos.
Oh, wow.
Just to
And you'd
keep
be
the
like,
pacing.
"Ah."
Just to keep the pacing.
Yeah, it was like a placeholder for
Yeah, yeah.
pacing. Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
yep.
But like that's also what he gave the special effects team, and they were mad at him while they were making it because they'd make these detailed models and he'd want to like cut it in a half second. Like the people making the models would be like, all right, we need 3 seconds on this on this thing so we can show how cool this model looks. It's like, no, that's not how this war works. Like it's half a second. So like he cut it down like 6 times from what all the model makers wanted. And
tough shit.
It's
his movie.
Like that's another awesome idea.
Those fight scenes are still spectacular. I mean, that's still. I mean, again, you have a lot of the first like 3/4 of the movie being this great character kind of stuff with some spaceship stuff, and then you have this this amazing set of dogfight scenes at the end, which is just so cool.
It is really
it's
cool.
just like unlike anything too. Even
there's a lot of weight to every like. They introduce all these new characters, and somehow it works because you watch them die.
Even Porkins.
You're just like,
you even feel bad for Porkins.
Dude, I laughed when they said Porkins. It's the fat guy, and his name is Porkins.
I like to believe it's just his call sign and that he wasn't really named Porkins.
But it's because he's fat.
It's because he's fat.
But that's his call sign. He's embraced it. So he's called Porkins.
You weigh a lot less in space. It's less important when you're in space.
But I don't know if Porkins' real name was Porkins or if that was just like his joke name.
His nickname,
Porkins.
I don't think a rebel pilot would be that fat. I don't think people in the army, like you don't allow people in the army to be like,
you're
rebel
rebel
pilots are avocado toast.
You just take whoever has skills and shows up. You're scrappy. like all
Porkins is good at Space Invaders. Just put him in a pilot.
You're weightless there, so it doesn't matter.
Porkins went to only egg whites, but it's not working. So
but his name is really
he just
Porkins,
keeps eating more egg whites.
Stupid.
It's about calorie intake, and that guy can suck down some egg whites. I tell you.
His name was actually Porkins, which is silly, but his nickname was Piggy.
Piggy.
Was it? According to George?
According to this is again going back to the Star Wars fandom. His name was Jack Tono Porkins. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of the stuff they cut out from the script was George Lucas's ridiculous names, and he brought a lot of the names they cut out of these trilogy to put back into the prequels because
he put them in the prequels.
Are you serious? Darth Sidious.
So George Lucas is just a nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing you can do.
But he just made. I mean, like Luke Skywalker was going to
made
be
a shitload of money. Shut up.
You
know what I mean?
Oh, I know. So his name was like something Star Killer.
Yeah, but he makes billions. All right, everyone shut up. We're gonna do what he says.
Shut up. Sit down. Do you want to work tomorrow? Then shut the fuck up and build the goddamn model.
Right. So you have like General Grievous. Looking at these names here, one guy's name Count Dooku. You have Savage
Count
Opress.
Dooku. That was episode 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Count Dooku.
What was the guy with the 2 lightsabers? The double-ended lightsaber? Who was he? The guy with the red tattoos.
That was Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. Yeah,
Darth
there you
Maul.
go.
Yeah.
The Grand Maul seizure. That's a weird name.
There's also
Grand Maul. That's the worst kind of seizure.
Yeah.
It's not the one you want.
No, that's the bad one.
I think like he wanted to have a Darth. George Lucas and one of them wanted to have a Darth Icky, but I think people fought against that one.
That was just bad enough for. What about who didn't edit Jar Jar Binks out of the episode 1?
Well,
whose fault was that?
What's Jar Jar Binks?
You don't want to know, dude. Okay. It was the worst. It's the worst part of the entire series is Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
He was a character in episode 1.
But when you think about some of these names, they are stupid. Like even Greedo is kind of dumb, but we just accept it.
Right.
It's good if it's said out of somebody who believes in it and is a good actor.
But even, I don't know. It is.
You believe in the Force because Alec Guinness talks about it first.
Right. That's true. It works.
That's
right?
true.
If it was like somebody bad, they're like, it's the Force,
and you'd be like,
and you're like, this movie sucks.
Right. This movie just sucks. What did he just say? The Force? Fucking idiot.
It's the
If you got Brad Pitt playing Obi-Wan Kenobi, it wouldn't work.
Hey, I've got the Force.
Hey,
could you put your shirt on, man?
No, it looks better without the shirt. But you stink.
Do you see how tiny my nipples
Brad,
are? This deserves to be seen.
You stink, Brad. Put the shirt on. No. It's cool. Man.
Yeah, it's good. We do it without the shirt off. It's in my contract.
I shoot first.
With shirt off, shoot
You got
first.
it, Brad. You got it. You fucking got it, dude. Brad looks good. Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, he really does look good.
He does look good.
He's great.
He'll sell it.
This movie's going to be a hit. He looks great.
And it's amazing. Han is so, like, Harrison Ford is such a grumpy old puss, but he acts so well. He's so into it when he does it. It's amazing.
He's talented.
And it's the same kind of role he does in Indiana Jones as well. But he just He does it so well. It's so charismatic.
It did remind me a lot of Indiana Jones. Just even the look of him. I forgot. It's very similar look.
Yeah. It was the same idea.
Yeah.
It was a Flash Gordon idea that George Lucas had. So that was another thing they tried to buy. They tried to buy rights to Flash Gordon and Hidden Fortress because it was a ripoff of Flash Gordon. I've never seen Flash Gordon. I don't know if John, have you seen that one?
I've seen the Flash Gordon movie a long time ago.
Right?
It was from the 30s, right?
No. There's from something from the 30s. There was a remake, like 80s, something like that.
Oh, no. So it was basically on like the 1930s.
Queen did the soundtrack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's weird.
Was it good?
I don't know if
it was good Queen, I'd watch it. If it was bad Queen,
it was weird. It was weird. It'd be interesting to see again.
I like
but it was
Queen.
strange.
I like all Queen. I'm a Queen fan.
If you listen to all Queen, it's not all good. Do you like the bicycle song, TC?
I do like the bicycle song.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
I like the bicycle song. I do.
I fucking hate that song.
Bicycle. Yep. I ride my bike. Yeah. It's just because you ride bikes. I don't ride bikes, so I find it hilarious.
I want a better theme song for my
I think in my head,
I'd be mad if it was a skateboard song.
Yeah, right. I would, right. Because in my head, I just think about all these like weirdo bikers, and then Denny pops up, and I'm like, this is funny. It's bicycle. Denny on his bicycle. Yeah,
fuck you.
I love
That's
that
why
song.
I don't like it.
I
it
like
makes
that
fun
song.
of me.
Exactly. That's why I know it hurts.
It hurts me. They rewrote Obi-Wan to die. He was supposed to live throughout this franchise, but because there was 3 movies, because he died in this first movie, they rewrote him as like a ghost. He was supposed to live, but he didn't have anything to do in the third act in this movie, so they needed to kill him because
Obi-Wan?
He didn't do anything. Yeah,
Oh.
he didn't do anything in the
So
third
that's
act.
the last time we ever see Obi-Wan.
But it was good.
No.
It adds.
No, I didn't think so.
Well,
He's a ghost.
You'll
He's a ghost
find
now,
out.
right?
You hear his voice.
I see.
He talks to him.
Oh, that's cool.
But it
the
worked.
Force will always be with
it
you.
was another good thing about this film is it keeps the seriousness to it. That that actually one of the principal characters dies, and that it affects Luke so much.
Every time I watch this movie, when he gets struck down, I'm just like, damn it,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan. I want you to stick
And he
around,
steps
man.
on the robe, and it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get him.
Does that mean that Obi-Wan just been in the desert with a bunch of fucking old ass Force people talking in his head too? Is that why he left?
I think so, right?
Right? Because like if Luke is hearing him, then he must have been hearing someone else.
Is he hearing?
'Cause
That's a good point. Maybe he's like, he's just talking to other Force
So
people.
he's
all
been
the time.
fucking. He's been under the freeway on the 10 here, just talking to himself, like, "Oh, we're gonna go get the Force," and everyone's thinking like, so basically, Star Wars started on the freeway. I think is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Hey, does this exit have the Force? If I take this exit, will there be Force
Yeah,
off
it's
this
the Force
exit?
again. Hey, you don't want to go off this one. We're all here. Oh shit, we're not going that way, honey. We're gonna keep going straight. The Force is with us. That's interesting. Okay, so Obi-Wan was just a crazy guy in the desert because he's got the
Yeah, there you
Force.
go.
He's got the Force.
Well, we'll see.
All right, interesting. I'm intrigued.
All of the lightsaber shots, like I said, were hand-drawn animated cells, and also all the laser shots were hand-drawn animated.
Wow.
Damn.
Hand-drawn, cell by cell, frame by frame.
They look so good too.
Whoa.
They still look good. I mean,
Whoa.
and as a kid, I was just so knocked out by that. The lightsabers plus blasters and laser shots.
There are shots of behind the scenes. They actually there's smoke coming out of the blasters, and they had like blanks in the gun. So like if you watched behind the scenes shots of the stormtroopers coming in, it was just a bunch of people with like automatic rifles, like bam, 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 and like you'd see the smoke coming off of the guns, and it's like even scarier than with the lights with the because guns are terrifying to me.
Yeah, me too.
But they look like they're like real guns. They're like the guy who did the set dressing. They called him the set designer, but he really designed all of the weapons and stuff too.
Oh wow.
So he they're real weapons, and he just added shit to them. So they fire. And the thing is too, like the gun that he liked was made for left-handed people. He was talking about how like the bullets would eject out of the left-hand side. So everyone was right-handed, and they would just like be hitting the stormtroopers in the chest with the bullets.
Oh.
George Lucas wrote Luke's character to fall in love with Leia. That's all I'm going to say, John.
Yeah.
Don't react to it too loudly.
Okay.
I know.
Putting that out there.
Okay. I mean, he
wrote it
obviously is
that
in love
way.
with her.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna go on and on and on.
We'll
I know
talk
that.
about
I know
that more
the
later.
thing is,
Yeah,
I
we'll
know
talk
a lot
about that.
about the story because I've heard it from people.
What do you know, TC?
Well, no, I
What do
just
you
know that they're like he ends up trying to save her or do some other shit. I don't fucking. I really don't know, but I know that there's I know that there's a thing between the two of them that's a big part of this story.
Yes,
but I don't know.
You'll get to learn.
Don't tell me.
Yes,
Yeah,
you will
won't
learn.
tell me.
This will be fun.
That's all I wanted to say because that's I don't want to forget about that. But
I mean, it's exciting. I see why people get involved in it. It's the same. The Marvel series, it really is the same kind of a feeling for like kids.
I'm really jealous of you, TC, because you're going to get to experience this.
The next movie, the next two movies.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're in for, man.
I can't wait.
So good.
I'm excited. I am. And now I have to go eat all. I never said I would hate it. I thought I might, but like
you eat a lot of sushi.
I'm gonna have to go eat a lot of sushi. That's a good way to put it.
Spicy tuna and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, right.
Like a good day.
Yeah, that's a good time. Yeah. Thanks, Susie.
The lightsaber hits were a combination of carbon arcs, which is a way of putting electricity through pieces of metal. So there was that. Basically explosions. And they had also put pieces of metal in dry ice and listened to them crack. So if you put metal in dry ice, they get so cool.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. The guy's a fucking genius.
Yeah. He just knows a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right?
And he'd be like, every sound effect, he also would manipulate on a tape. So it wasn't just a straight sound. He'd either slow it down or speed it up.
Very
Right.
smart.
This is all analog. So whatever he was, it wasn't like he did
totally
digital
analog.
manipulation. It was all analog
Every
manipulation.
sound effect was recorded with a fucking handheld tape recorder. Like 90% of the sounds were handheld tape recorder re-recorded in a room somewhere.
That's just amazing.
Which is cool because it takes you lose all the tape sound, right? So then all you get is the actual sound in the room, which is perfect. So you worldize it, you lose the tape hiss, and then you record it into something else that's pristine, and you've got good manipulative fucking. I mean, it's a hell of a workflow. I have to say, I'm impressed. It makes me feel so inadequate as far as like life is concerned, right? Because I don't ever think about those things that far in. I'm just like, oh, that could be a good. I'm gonna go like drink a beer and watch the beach. Like it's like, I don't know. I wish nice. I wish I had that like that just natural ability to be like, oh, I'm gonna do this for this, and I'm gonna keep working every day, all night. Jesus fuck Christ, no way.
What was the TIE fighter sound? Did you know? You know that? You got that one down?
Yeah. Let's get through it. I don't know. I think I have it. I think I have it, but like I have a lot of notes here.
All right.
So the vector shots of the Death Star and stuff on the screens in the background where they were doing like the plan to destroy the Death Star was not ILM because ILM couldn't do that stuff. Industrial Light and Magic, the special effects crew, couldn't do that stuff back then. They had to hire vector programmers.
Oh, wow.
Back then. It was a different team of people, and that stuff had never been done before. Literally, nobody had ever used vectors in a computer program to make images.
Whoa.
And that was the first instance of that, like the 3D model of the Death Star with like the missiles going in and stuff.
Yeah.
First time that ever happened. And those people probably didn't have a job afterwards because they weren't a part of our ILM. They might have gotten absorbed. I don't know.
I bet they got hired in. Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
During the scenes where they were about to fight the Death Star, there were only 2 models of the rebel ships, and they just relocated them every shot. They just moved them around the set to like have different camera angles, different positions to make it look like there was like a whole hangar full of rebel ships. There's only 2.
Damn.
There's only 2. There's always 2. It's weird like looking at it. Always 2 on camera, only 2 on camera. But it still looks like it's a hangar full of ships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
The dogfight voices, when you cut to the different people and you could hear the incoming voices, were just shortwave radio voices. They just record it through a shortwave.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
It. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's cool.
Every single person's cockpit has a different pitch of mechanical hum to identify the people inside the ship.
Huh. You would have noticed that probably in the theater.
I think you might notice it every time you watch it.
Now that I know it's there, maybe I will. I didn't watch it with headphones last night. I watched it on my
helps
speakers,
you. It might help you identify, like even if you don't notice it, you're like more quickly than identifying each of the different pilots. It is kind of impressive.
So quickly.
I see. Like you may not notice it,
Denny. Like they introduce a slew of these characters. There's all of these other rebel pilots that just you get
He's got a
introduced
childhood
to.
friend in there, which like you meet for like 2 minutes and then he fucking dies.
Right, and you feel sad. It works.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, there went that guy.
I know, and they literally just disappear. It's like, holy shit, they killed that guy off in 2 seconds. Yeah.
But it's kind of impressive. So that may have helped you feel more like familiar quickly with them.
Oh, because you're feeling it more than you were hearing it.
Yeah,
or
you're like recognizing them.
Yeah, that's smart. Jeez, he's smart. He's smart.
And the whole idea behind the quick cuts during that scene were because like he knew he didn't have enough money to make it look. He was looking at 2001 for like his inspiration. He knew he didn't have the money to make the movie look that good. If you hold on it, like 2001 holds on the effects.
Oh yeah,
and it looks great.
Right.
But he knew he didn't have that. So like the fast cuts during the action scenes, were a result of him just like knowing that nothing would look that good if you got to sit on it for that long.
Right.
But it also works so well for the action because it's moving so fast.
Damn.
So I looked up the TIE Fighter sound effect from Wikipedia on this. He combined an elephant call with a car driving on wet pavement.
Damn.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he fucking did.
Wow.
He did not mention that during the commentary.
No, and it's just like a roar. That noise was scary to me when I was a little kid. That roar. Yeah.
It's good.
So there's 2 commentary tracks. I've already said a lot of it. My last note on the first commentary track is George doesn't like this movie. He had way more ideas that are not here. He didn't like the restriction on his non-CG techniques.
What?
That was the takeaway of the first thing. Because like when he used the specialized version to sell the prequels.
Yep.
And I think they recorded this commentary track around that time, and he was just gung-ho for shitty CG effects the entire commentary track.
That sucks.
You guys should watch the video where it's the CG they added to this movie.
I've seen it.
So bad.
It's not good. And it was even, I mean, I was still pretty young when they came out. So I was okay. I was fine for the time because it gave me an excuse to go and see it all in the theaters again. Because they just did specialized versions of all 3, and it was kind of fun to go in the theater and see it and see what they did.
Mm-hmm.
But when you compare it, it does look
You're forced to watch it now.
It looks hokey. Yeah. It really does look sort of like not nearly like it just looks painted on.
The Jabba the Hutt scene is
it's terrible.
Worst,
it's
the
worst
really?
scene.
Yeah, it's really
so
awful.
Bad.
And there's and you see some of the stupid humor.
So they filmed it with the human. It was in a deleted scene from this movie, and they reinserted it because he had the technology now to fucking redo it. Yeah. But they CG Jabba the Hutt as he looked in the 3rd movie. Spoiler, sorry, TC.
It's okay.
But they have Harrison Ford walking behind Jabba the Hutt, but now they know that he has a tail. They've digitally moved him up.
Oh.
They have Harrison Ford. They cut and paste his body over the back of Jabba the Hutt. It looks horrible. Weird. It's like the worst people on YouTube. We could do a better job. Like any 3 of us could do a better job at editing that scene.
I don't know. Why does he think it's good? Nobody knows.
I don't know. It's confusing.
That's weird.
He thinks it's good. Yeah.
Weird guy.
Oh, we're reaching the end here, guys.
Nice. It's only been 3 hours.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
We're doing it part straight. We might need to do another Saturday session for the next one because I can't.
I think
I like this. Let's do this.
I like this.
Let's do this.
For Star Wars, we'll do this. Don't scratch it, TC. Don't scratch it.
I'm not. I'm cleaning around it. It's got like. It's got like.
No, put your hand down. Put your hand down.
Don't worry. I didn't actually touch the wound.
Don't you blow on it.
Yeah, the Neosporin kind of like leaks down as it sits. So I was cleaning off the bottom.
Carrie Fisher had to tape her down.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm going to keep that in.
Why?
Her dress was very loose fitting.
They thought they didn't want cleavage, or
they were just bouncing around too much. There was too much nipple through that white thing.
I see. Yeah.
What can you do?
You just wear a bra? I don't know.
Nope. George said no bra.
Oh, I wonder why.
But if you tape them down anyway, it's sort of the same. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, they still kind of. It's a tough one. I don't know.
Anyway,
I heard that and I was like, they didn't tape him down that much. I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
They're not that taped down. Come on.
Jesus. Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind either way. Wasn't paying attention enough to care.
She hated her hair, but she didn't want to complain about it because
was
she was
weird
afraid she was going
hairstyle.
to get fired.
Yeah, it was very
so iconic though.
Very distinctive now.
She never wears that hairstyle again in the series, but that's the Leia hair.
Yeah,
right.
She's like talks about how like
right.
Yeah, she's just like, this is the one that stuck. I hate it.
It's so annoying that these people all have this thing that made their fucking lives and they hate it. It's like
except for
so
Ford.
Fucking
Harrison Ford had a career afterwards.
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, like, these things are what made them famous. The fuck? Yeah. Love it. Embrace it. Accept it.
She
already.
did not. She's funny as shit. She was like in all the both commentary tracks. She's cynical and negative and hilarious.
Right.
Consistently. Everything she said was pretty funny. This is how low budget this movie was. The guy who played C-3PO, the day before the first day of his shoot, like the first day of him being on screen as the robot, he was in his shitty hotel room in Tunisia, gluing the model hands together himself.
Oh, wow.
They tasked him to help finish the costume because there was no time.
I wonder what, again, I just thinking, he's thinking, God, what is coming to where's my life right now that I'm just sitting here in Tunisia gluing this, I'm going to be this stupid robot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a dumb robot.
That's true.
When Luke goes into the garage towards the beginning and like presses the buzzer to find C-3PO, that noise is a laser gun from Ben Burtt's childhood that he thought would work well, and he went and found the laser beam in like his childhood home and recorded that. That's what that was.
This guy's got so many fucking little memories in the back of his cavernous brain.
His mind is a file cabinet.
Yeah, and exactly. That's what it is. So he loves to file. He's like a big filer, even in his brain. Fucking A. Takes a lot to do that.
Alec Guinness was in this movie because he liked the script.
Oh, nice.
The script was good, apparently.
But the dialogue was not? I'm confused now.
They cut out so much. Yeah. He didn't like the dialogue. He liked the story a lot. And like the way George could describe the scenes was all in the script.
Right.
And that really got a lot of people interested.
It just was hard to translate to screen. Because like the fantasy of it, and when you're reading it, I'm sure it could be like, oh, astronomical, right? It's like, oh, I can picture all this in my weird little warped head. Because everyone's would be different. And like, then you get it on screen, it's just like this, and you have to cut the good parts out to show this. And it's like, fuck, you got this crabby dialogue. All right, it checks out. I can see it. I can see it now. I had to just talk it out,
Yeah.
Did you notice, TC? Did you watch this on your good speakers? I hope you did.
I did. But I didn't watch too loud because it was late. So.
Did you notice the low frequency when Darth Vader was on screen?
No, fuck, man.
Ah, damn it, TC. I'm gonna watch it again.
I mean, I didn't notice it. I had it loud until about midnight, and then I had to turn it down.
It is earth shaking whenever Darth Vader's on screen.
Oh,
and
what?
It intensifies when he's doing scarier shit.
And it was on the copy we had because there wasn't much low end on mine. It didn't seem like.
No, maybe the specialized version doesn't have that much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I had it loud for a while. I wasn't noticing rumbling when Darth was on screen.
Did you download the 20 gigabyte file, or did you watch the link that John sent?
I just did the link. Oh, there was a 20 gig file?
I mean, you don't have...
I should have fucking... Oh, my bad. I only saw the text with the last link because it's scrolled.
I think for streaming stuff, there's not a lot of low frequency stuff on
I don't think there is.
Right?
Yeah. So I think they probably... Well, no, they don't limit it, but I would imagine there is some limit. Like, there's some cutoff.
There is for file size.
Yeah, right. There's some... Well,
cut that out.
File size is not really a big deal anymore.
Is it not?
No, not for encodings. Yeah, it's
pretty... What about 4K shit? That
4K
stuff is
like 250 gigs. So like 20 gigs, I guess, but it wouldn't affect the audio. The audio is the smallest part. It's the video.
Audio is the biggest part, I thought.
No.
For video games, at least, it's the biggest part.
Well, yeah, but that's way different because they've got to queue it up. Yeah, it's not embedded in a wrapped container, right? Like that you play.
Yeah.
Audio is the smallest part. Trust me. It's the video. It's the big part. But I don't know. So you're saying if I watch that 20 gig, I'll get the low end?
Yeah, so the low end is awesome.
Oh, shit.
The most noticeable portion of it is when he's choking the guy with his fingers, and it like rumbles the house. It just like, it intensifies while he's choking the guy.
So I fucking missed
it. Shakes the house.
No, I didn't get any of that. Yeah, I didn't get any of that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But that noise is a mixture between a missile launch and thunder, but they're recorded together and they're slowed down.
Holy shit.
That's the low end.
What a great low end. I am going to steal that. Not to use on anything important, but fucking hey.
John, you got trivia?
Cool.
What are you doing over there?
Oh, well, I fell into a little bit of a hole here. So there's on this website, Dangerous Minds. This is an article written by Martin Schneider, but they quote from Alec Guinness's biography about what he thought of the Star Wars stuff.
Don't believe all of it.
Yeah.
He lies. Yeah.
He lies?
He lies about this movie. Yep.
Why?
Well, you could find news articles about him praising it, and you can find news articles about him hating it. Both exist.
What?
I don't know what to think about it.
Here's like a letter.
I didn't have enough time to figure out which one was true.
Here's a letter that he wrote to a friend. So this is from a letter that he wrote to a friend. He just said, I've been offered a movie, which I may accept if they come up with proper money. London, North Africa, starting mid-March. Science fiction, which gives me pause, but it's to be directed by Paul Lucas, who did American Graffiti, which makes me feel I should. Big part. Fairy tale rubbish, but
Could be interesting, perhaps. Wow, fairy tale rubbish.
He even writes like a Brit.
Yeah. Doesn't he? Like a little condescending asshole right there.
Here's another
proper money
letter. I guess he writes. So he's working on the film, and he has difficulty remembering Harrison Ford's name. Can't say I'm enjoying the film. New rubbish dialogue reaches me every other day on wadges of pink paper, and none of it makes my character clear or even bearable.
Alec Guinness can be credited to honing in his rubbish dialogue. He stepped up to George Lucas, at least as much as I heard. A lot of it's like, it's weird because George Lucas at least lies about their relationship. He's like, he had a great time on set. I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Doesn't sound like
he didn't have a great time on set.
He says, I just think thankfully of the lovely bread, which will keep me going until next April, even if Yahoo collapses in a week. I must,
lovely bread?
Yeah, the money. The money.
I must off to studio and work with a dwarf, very sweet, and he has to wash in a bidet. And your fellow countrymen, Mark Hamill and Tennyson, that can't be right. Ford, Ellison, no. Well, a rangy, languid young man who's probably intelligent, amusing, but God, they make me feel 90 and treat me as if I'm 106. Harrison Ford, ever heard of him?
Harrison Ford.
Wow. If that letter is real, that is epic.
Yeah.
This
insane.
Is like they're giving dates on this. This is it from the authorized biography.
Wow.
There's a diary entry from April 16, 1976. Apart from
there's
the money,
Guinness biography.
Yeah. Well, he's again very well known. Very famous.
Yeah, that sounds fucking
actor.
awesome.
That sounds very fucking interesting, actually.
So, again, a diary entry. Apart from the money, which should get me comfortably through the year, I regret having embarked on the film. I like the.
He doesn't have enough money to go year to year, dude. He's fucking world famous. What the hell is he doing with his money?
I wonder what they're paying him then. No, not much.
Yeah. Again, I like them well enough. But
what is he doing with his money?
An acting job. The dialogue, which is lamentable, keeps me changed and keeps being changed and only slightly improved. And I find myself old and out of touch with the young. I think he just sort of also.
He's going year to year.
I mean, dude, I live paycheck to paycheck. I shouldn't. Got like, you know what I mean? Like
2.25% of the proceeds.
Oh, buddy. Good job on that contract.
So he got for him to get more. Because he
hated his guts the whole time. He felt bad.
Lucas was always saying really nice things about him. Apparently.
No, Lucas, like the guy hated Lucas's guts, so he wanted to make it better. You know, he wanted to make it better after. Like, I feel bad. You know, like I'll give you some extra money for. Please be my friend. Can I say that we were friends? You know, and it's like, all right.
They talked about Alec Guinness like coming on set, and he wouldn't even have to do anything. People would snap into shape. All the actors would goof around if he didn't have a scene, but as soon as Alec Guinness was in the shot, serious, it'd be like everyone was like professional.
Right? He's like, this is like a real actor, right? No kidding.
Yeah, right.
And meanwhile, he's in his own mind feeling sad and out of touch because everybody's being all stiff around him.
That's right. Because he doesn't get. He probably didn't understand it. Like it was just because they're scared.
He also felt isolated from them.
Yeah, that's
because he was like not one of the guys. You know, he was like, they make me feel so old.
Like, why won't they just chill? How come everyone won't just relax?
Meanwhile, it's Alec. We better. George isn't even here directing, but we'd better shape up.
You know, it could be the fact that like they had a couple scenes with him and they watch just how quick he works, and they go, "I don't do that." So then they know they don't want to get on his. They don't want to slow him down.
How he took it, like maybe he helped influence the. I don't know what order things were shot in, but maybe he helped like set the tone of the seriousness of the acting.
Yeah. I love this idea of this like situation on the set. Yeah. It's awesome. I mean, that biography must be cool.
It'd be interesting, yeah.
Ready for another sound one?
Okay.
Sure.
The sound of jumping to hyperspace was an elevator motor starting and the middle portion of a thunderclap.
The middle portion, huh?
The middle portion. Cut the end and cut the beginning. Just the middle.
Wow.
There was a lot of fainting on set. Peter Mayhew, who's Chewbacca, fainted like frequently. That his costume was hot.
Right,
too hot.
A big old
everyone was hot because they were filming in hot locations. And even when Luke and Han were in stormtrooper outfits, that was a hot costume because it was black wool underneath the plastic parts, and there was no breathing with the plastic. It was black wool and then plastic, so there's no ventilation in those things. Stormtroopers would pass out all the time. All the droids would pass out all the time. They left the little person that was R2-D2 in the robot once when they were done shooting, and they forgot to let him out.
Oh shit!
He couldn't get in there by himself. He had to be lowered down in there because it was such a weird costume.
Whoa!
They left him there, like for lunch break once. They just fucking left him in the costume. Yeah.
Oh god!
All the Jawas fainted. Like everybody was fainting. Everyone was fainting the entire set.
This is like a pretty comedic sort of like retelling of this story. You know,
there goes another one. Yeah, there goes
just
another
in the
one.
background. You got
shots
people falling.
He fell down in the background again.
Tony, can you come in here? We got another one. Yeah, we got another one. Yeah.
But the magical thing is, it never ruined a take, according to anybody. Like everything in this movie just fell into place. Like nothing ruined a take,
including that payday.
The sets would break, things would break, special effects
Holy
would get
shit,
ruined, but it
man.
would never be during a portion where they'd be filming or where it was like important to get it. It would never happen that way.
Dude, can you imagine all the
So
money
they
that
had
just
it might have
rolled
scrapped
in?
this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they were operating on a shoestring without a net, sort of. So if something really had gone wrong, it
Oh
might
yeah,
have
they
been-
could have been fucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
If someone died or something because something fell.
Yeah. Or just got boiled
Ooh,
alive in their
baby.
suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
A lot of the sets were not sets; they were just paintings in the background. That's how they saved a lot of money. A lot
Oh.
of the backgrounds were just painted on there, and they
Pretty
like,
damn good
insert the
paintings.
shots. Yeah, really good paintings.
Very cool.
They filmed a lot of this in the UK, and the UK has rules where you can't film past 5:30.
What?
Cannot.
No
Cannot.
way.
No, that's tea time.
You can't.
That's tea time. It's black tea time.
I have no
And what
idea.
George would try to, so like if you were in the middle of a shot, you get an extra 15 minutes, but you'd have to have a vote on the crew. So like if you have to have a vote, and he got voted down every time. So like
No
if it was
way.
5:30 and he's in the middle of a shot,
So
it's
this
like, who
makes
wants to
such a
keep going?
great-
And everyone's like, nope, going
This
home.
makes such a great comedy.
What?
Again, it's like, all right, come on, guys.
Oh,
Anyone?
Because that
Yeah.
can't be
Come on.
still real. That's
Come on.
It is.
Harrison?
I don't know. In
There's
the UK,
no way
I don't
that's
know.
still real.
Harrison,
But like
you
he was
wanna
talking
go?
about,
Come on.
he was used to shooting in Hollywood where
That's
you get to like
you shoot all
get to
fucking
shoot into the middle of the night.
12
You
hours
shoot
all day,
into the
and
night.
then, well, no, you'd have to take a break. But then you probably didn't.
Depends.
But then
There's
you
no
probably
rules.
didn't. Yeah, then you could just shoot and shoot and shoot. I bet you're right, Danny. Back then, there were no rules like turnaround times and this and that, and unions and
Yeah.
all this other shit, like, although there had to be a union then.
I mean, we
Right?
talked about at least Kubrick's stuff, and he would shoot until whenever he wanted to end it.
Maybe he would just switch out crews.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
People would talk about how they worked like 16 to 20 hours a day.
holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So there were no rules then.
No.
There couldn't have been.
I think it depends on the production.
No, and now there's
Location?
no way.
Maybe.
You can't. You get 12 and that's it.
And he filmed in the UK.
Oh.
I'm confused now.
Yeah, I don't know. This sounds like a lot of weird information.
Yeah. So Vader versus Ben
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of broken sticks. That was one of the times they had to refilm it because they were just wooden sticks and they would hit them together.
And pop.
And the reason it's kind of a lame fight is because they kept breaking
Oh,
the
yeah.
things. So it's kind of like they're like,
So they had to go
Yeah,
light.
did like
They
a
had to
little
go
late.
light
Yeah.
yeah,
because it
because
kept
they were breaking
breaking
the sticks.
Oh, that's annoying. That's probably when he wrote one of those letters.
Yeah, no kidding. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm sitting here with a stick. We're
There's
sitting
stick.
here. I'm
And they're
fighting this
breaking,
guy
so I
in a
can't even
Halloween
hit the fucking
costume.
thing. Yeah, right.
They were using wooden sticks, and all subsequent films, at least the second and third ones of this trilogy, were fishing rods afterwards because you can't break a fishing rod.
That makes sense. There you
Oh
go.
wow,
Already said all these. You guys are in luck.
Yay.
Nice.
Hey, this is fun. I mean, it's going.
this is cool.
forever,
Yeah,
I know,
this is
but,
like
I
a
mean,
lot of information
This
and
is
a lot
a
of,
record setter for us, for sure.
and we're all
For
happy.
sure.
We're all positive on it. That's
yeah.
good.
Well, again,
Yeah.
I'm just.
This is not
yeah.
the most impressive sound, but the sound of the Y fighter. What's the Y fighter?
Y-wing.
know.
It's the Y-wing. It's
What's
like
that?
So there were X-wings and Y-wings. The X-wings had the X-files. The
Are
Y-wings
they both
had-
rebels?
Yeah, they were rebel fighters. They had like a U shape on the back of them. So you see a couple of them.
Oh, when
There's
they're
like
flying.
yeah, look
Yeah.
up Y-wing. You'll see a Y-wing fighter. You'll recognize them. They're in the film. 'Cause they only show two types of fighters. There's Y-wings.
I know the
and
X-wing
X-wings.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was that the thing that Leia was on?
No, Leia was on a Corellian Corvette. That was the that was the
That was a
like
test of John's nerdiness.
Yeah.
You passed, John.
Hey,
No,
I
no,
used to
no,
play-
it was the
I used to play
Corvette.
the LucasArts Star Wars games, the X-Wing and TIE Fighter games, or like these space simulator. And these were PC games where you just were like did dogfights and stuff. So you'd learn all about the different ships.
Wow.
Oh man, they were fun. Yeah.
The Y-wing sound was when he was recording that twang of the lasers from the transmission line. One of the places that got rejected from the laser sounds was a place where he heard a nice pitch of wind whistling through the trees. And that sound of the whistling through the trees at this one spot at a transmission line in the northern Hollywood Hills is the Y-fighter sound.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
George wanted Vader to get away. That was 100% George. Everyone was like, dude, what are you doing?
He's like, I'm making another episode.
Yeah, that's it. Everyone's like, dude, it doesn't matter. And he's like, no. I want Darth Vader to live.
Yeah.
Really?
No. I want Darth Vader to live. It's my movie. Shut up, everybody.
That's right. It was, yeah.
A good quote from the special feature. So those are the commentary tracks. There's two things I got to say about the bonus features. One of them is that the effects guy was on there talking about how he was hired for 6 weeks. He had a 6-week contract and it turned into a 10-year job.
Wow.
And this same guy I forget what his name is, but what I'm about to say, you can look it up. He did these movies, and after Return of the Jedi, which is the third one of the series, he wanted to like quit and like just quit the industry. And George Lucas was like, dude, don't do that. If you go to he never even graduated college. I don't know how this guy got on this movie project. He didn't go to college, but he was so good that George Lucas was like, dude, I will pay you to go to the school. I'll pay for your tuition and I will pay you. He paid him a salary to go to school. And he went to USC, and this guy made fucking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
What?
He made the first Captain America movie. He's just like, he directed. Yeah. I have to look this guy up. He made Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It was his first movie.
He's just a natural. I'm so confused by this story.
He was just awesome at movies. Like George must have seen him like
he must
on
have
a
seen
set
it
and
in
like,
him.
dude, you're good.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
At this.
Yeah.
His name is Joe Johnson.
Interesting.
But he was like a special effects guy
on
special all three Star Wars movies, and George Lucas believed in him. And
Right.
he went, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, Jumanji, October Sky. Those were his first 4 movies.
October Sky was
good.
Yeah, that one was
Jumanji's
really good.
fucking good.
Jumanji
Rocketeer's
was
fucking good. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is
good.
fucking good. They're all good movies. He
Yeah.
made Jurassic Park 3,
Yeah.
which is the worst of the 3 Jurassic
he just
Park
wanted
movies. That's
some
not his
extra
fault, though.
cash.
It's not his fault,
Yeah,
though.
he just wanted extra cash.
But he made Hidalgo, which was good. And then he made Captain America, which people like.
I did. Yeah. Fucking hey. Good for him, huh? All these people that do so well.
That's George Lucas, too. that was George Lucas.
You see, George Lucas is an interesting cat. He really is.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got, guys.
All right.
That was awesome.
TC, what would you put this in the top 250?
Absolutely not.
Would you put this in the top? Would you put this in the top 50?
I would put this in the top 10.
Would you put this in the top 5?
Ooh.
You have to watch the other 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out that one.
I don't know. That might be
this
tough.
movie deserves to be up there, man. I don't know how this movie isn't number 1. This movie deserves to be number 1.
It is. I gotta say, it's a very good movie.
Yeah. Shawshank Redemption is number 1. This movie should be number 1.
This is better.
There's no question.
Yeah. This is better.
This movie has everything.
Yeah.
And it set the gold standard, and we haven't been able to. We haven't seen anything
like it really
that meets
since.
this yet.
Yeah. No. Good point.
John?
They think well said,
top
Denny.
250.
No, I can't add to that. I think you said it well.
That's right.
Sweet. All right. Next week.
All right. Yeah. Next
we're
week
going to
is
do
which
another
one now?
long ass one.
Which one?
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, it is. Okay. Here we go.
Episode 5.
And is there any special thing I need to watch on this, or is it just pick
Watch
one
the
on Disney Plus?
despecialized
There's also
despecialized.
Yeah, there's a despecialized
all
of all
3 of
3.
these despecialized. all
Okay,
3.
on it. I'm going to find a good one for the sound this time, so don't fuck that up.
Yeah. Download the.
I do wonder.
Or I'll stream the good one from
Is
the
it possible?
site.
Do we want to
Yeah.
break it up and do another film in between or something?
No.
We were in
I want to
marathon
watch
it.
Empire Strikes
I
Back.
want to watch
so
all of them
bad
now,
right
too.
now.
All right. We'll marathon it. We'll marathon it.
All right, cool.
Do some negotiations with the wife about she's been like taking
we can
care
take,
of.
dude, this is going to be 2 episodes. We can take a week if you need it.
Oh,
That's true.
Do this
We
take a week break.
This is going to be 2 episodes. We have time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, okay, let's do that.
Maybe
That's
that
smart.
would be part of the negotiation. So
Yeah.
to give you,
Oh
give
no, it
everybody
is part
time.
now.
2 weeks from now.
It is a part.
Right,
2 weeks from now.
Right.
That's called good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's maybe a good idea too, to give you time to also really like go
Edit.
into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to edit out so much of the shit I said in
that's
this
true.
one.
You're gonna have a big editing job here.
The
So
editing is
let's
going to
do
be
that.
rough on this
Let's
one.
shoot for
Yeah.
let's shoot for
Yeah.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun, guys. But yeah, how about 2 weeks from today? We'll try to do same time, 12:30 or 2:30 your
Works
time.
for me.
Yeah.
I think that works for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I guess let's give this a nice bro edit since we never actually ended. What do we got to do? Rate and subscribe and all the rest, right? We gotta,
Nah.
You know, let's do
just
it on
glad you
Spotify.
listened.
Let's
If you're
do
here-
it on whatever you
If
want.
you're here, tell your friends. That's it. I mean,
Yeah.
thanks
No
for
one
listening.
cares.
I hope that this was a fun one.
Yeah.
It's thank you everyone. This was a
Yes,
good time.
that's true.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
listening.
That's what we
Thank
want.
you for like emailing us too. Even if we don't respond to your emails, it's not a slight. It's just we can only watch so many
So many movies, and we already have our list that we have scoped out. So it's like we're not trying to be offensive by not listening.
No.
We're just not on that tangent. We're on our own.
Yeah.
So
But we will.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
I'm flagging those emails, and
eventually we're
depending
going to
on how
run
long
through
we
this
go
list.
beyond.
So
the
right.
list. We'll see.
So cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Sweet.
Will not be
All right,
forgotten.
guys.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your. The day's gone.
The day's
That's
gone.
right. The day is gone.
Especially
yeah,
today,
the day
it's
is
like
gone.
6 o'clock my time.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Having good hanging out with you dudes.
Yeah, you too. Good seeing
Take
you
care,
both.
guys. May the force be with you.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. And also with you. Please give me a tiny cracker.
Yeah. The force is strong here. The force is
No
strong.
kidding.
Can I have a sip of your gross wine, please? Thank you very much.
Oh.
Look, I'm going to shoot first, which is quick. All right, see you.
All right, let's go.